So last week, we talked about homemade chains. And I was talking about this whole familiar thing in our lives, where we can't move forward in life, we can't progress because we are stuck in familiar. And as long as we are stuck in familiar and hold on to familiar, even though it's dysfunctional, even though it's dragging us down, our life is going to be at best mediocre if we are lucky. If you want to learn more about that, go to our YouTube channel or to our Facebook channel. You can watch that sermon over there and get more information about that topic. Today, I would like us to move forward. Today, I would like us to talk about this divine checking game. Have you ever, I know Obed has, probably Isaac as well, have you ever tried really playing the checking game? Not on a bicycle with your friends, but with an actual, long beam headlights, and let's see what happens. Okay, everybody, only one, brave enough to admit. It's actually so awesome. Everybody should try it. I kid you not. So, one time, I barely got my license, and it was the 90s. It was the wild time in my country. The war kind of barely ended, and I'm with a friend. Actually, it was Saturday. There was 4 or 5. I don't even know. There was a lot of us in the car. At a time, as many as you can fit. They fit in the trunk, wherever. So there was a lot of us in the car. And now we're driving in between the towns, and the car comes our way. Is coming our way, and it's already, the dusk is setting, so you had the headlights on, and the car in front just turns into the left lane, goes straight towards us. And now, these are seconds. So these are literally moments. He's going to be here in a few seconds, and everybody, we're talking, laughing, everybody's just freezing. And the driver, the guy who's driving, he's cold as ice. He's right there. Dude, move! What's it? Everybody starts freaking out. He did not flinch. He absolutely did not flinch. And I don't know how close we were. It seemed like the headlights were already touching. That was kind of the sense that we had in the car. The guy in front of us, he just moves back into the right lane and kind of buzzes off. The adrenaline. Dude, let's do this again. That was kind of the sense. But let's not do it ever again in this lifetime. In some other lifetime. The checking game is a dangerous one, because somebody is going to lose the nerve. Now, anytime we play the checking game with God, we are the ones who lose the nerve. Nevertheless, by the end of this sermon, I'm going to try to explain why you should never lose a nerve when you're playing checking game with God. Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened. Do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you, sometimes, occasionally, here and there, wherever you go. Now, this is the gazillionth time that God repeats this to Joshua. Joshua was such a chicken. Oh my goodness. So, he is 44 years old. And he is picked from all of his tribesmen, he is picked as the man of courage and brevity to go and spy on the land. And he goes with other spies to spy the land, and they come back and they see all of these things. They see the giants. They see the chariots of steel and everything. And they come back. You remember what the other 11 spies said. You guys remember the story, right? The 11 spies were guys, this sucks. We're going to die. They're going to slaughter us. We're like grasshoppers in their eyes. We stand no chance. Who was the one to come and say, no, that's all a lie? Joshua, right? Joshua is guys, are you kidding? God is with us. He's holding his sword. He's bringing it around. He's like, no, we can't take them. We have to go. That's our land. What happens? You know the rest of the story. Now, Joshua was, from that moment on, through next 40 years, Joshua is Moses' right hand. So, Joshua is 84 years old. They're about to enter the promised land. And news flash, the big bold leader is not coming with us. Moses is going to stay behind. So who's going to take over? Who is the bravest one? Who is the boldest one? Why do I say that? God had to repeat Joshua 4 times. This is the last one, when God tells him, dude, but have I not told you, come on, be courageous. Why do you think God had to repeat to him, be courageous, be strong and courageous? Would he do that if Joshua was strong and courageous? Joshua chickened out. He acted just as Moses acted when he was his age. Send somebody else. I'm not the man for the job. Like, I can swing a sword, I can fight the giants, I do all of these things, but don't make me a leader. I'm not the leader. Like, I can't do this. This is not for me. And God is like, no. I'm with you. Don't be frightened. He was not afraid of the giants. He was afraid of his own people, who he was supposed to stand up front and give them a speech why they're supposed to go to the promised land. He had trauma, 40-year-long trauma. Trauma from the last time he was in the promised land. Last time when he was in the promised land and told the people, we got to go over there, they wanted to kill him. They were grabbing the stones, they were getting ready to kill him for that. And now he's like, I'm too old for this stuff. Seriously. But God tells him, I don't care who you think you are. I don't care what you think about yourself. I don't care what you think you can do. I don't care who you think you're answering to. I want you to muster your strength, be strong and courageous, because I have a job for you. That's what I want us to talk about today. There are 4 most common fears that we succumb to and fail for, that drag us down, that drag us away from the purpose that God has for us, and that drag us into a pit very often of depression, shame, and so on, that we sometimes never get out of. The first one is the fear of failure. People often say that we are more afraid of success than of failure. That's not the truth. That's not the truth. All of us want success. All of us yearn and crave success. But the fear of failure is what keeps and holds back a lot of us from really fulfilling our dreams, from really waking up every morning and saying, oh, this is a beautiful day. What is a fear of failure? People will avoid responsibility because of fear of failure. People will refuse to take risks because of fear of failure. People are going to be concerned that they are going to lose every single time when they try something new or different and unfamiliar. Now, one thing that labels those people as well is the potential failure syndrome. So, let's talk about Jonah, and then I'm going to elaborate what does that mean. And I bet that some of you are going to find yourselves in them. So Jonah, chapter 1, verses 1 through 3. Now the word of the Lord came to Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, the great city, and call out against it, for their evil has come up before me. But Jonah rose to flee to Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. Now, if you, I'm not going to read the whole story. I will assume that you guys are vaguely familiar with the story at least. But anyways, he gets on the boat. He gets a one-way ticket to the opposite direction. A storm swoops in. Now, this is so cool. You read, take the time and go read the book of Jonah. It's so crazy. So the storm swoops in, and these seasoned sailors who are spent all of their lives on the seas, they're like, we're going to die. Bible says they freak out. They are trembling in fear of what's going to happen to them. Do you know what did Jonah do? I'll be downstairs. I'll take a nap. Literally, he goes downstairs. He takes a nap. And the people come, and they're waking him up. Come on, get up. Pray to your God. We're all going to die. And he goes up like, oh, darn it. Guys, so listen. So my bad. This is all because of me, okay? So you know what? Just throw me off. Throw me out. Throw me off the board. And now he literally tells that to them. Like, this is all happening because of me. Throw me away. And they're like, are you crazy, dude? We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna kill you. No way. So they start throwing out all of the baggage, everything that they had on there to kind of lighten the boat. But the storm is getting worse and worse. And he tells them again, guys, come on, listen to me. Stop doing that. Just throw me overboard. Everything will be fine. And they're afraid from the storm. Not they're afraid of committing such an atrocity, but they still do it. They throw him out. So cool. You read the story. Jonah was not afraid one bit. He was not afraid of the storm to the point that he went to take a nap. He was not afraid to be thrown overboard. Jonah knew his God. He exactly knew who his God was. He knew that, oh, I'm fine. Like, whatever is happening around me, I'm fine. The fish swallows him. 3 days later, the book of Jonah says, Jonah is finally praying to God. So petty. It's incredible how petty Jonah was. He's like, okay, can you please get me out of here? Like, seriously, okay, I'm done. So, you know the story. Fish spits him out. And spits him out on the close to Nineveh. And God tells him the same thing that he told him the first time. And Jonah is like, okay, fine. So he goes and he preaches to the Nineveh. And now, what happens? They repent. They repent. And God says, yes, I don't have to kill anybody. Awesome. God is all excited about it. Nevertheless, guess who is not excited? Jonah chapter 4. Look at this. Jonah chapter 4. Verses 1 and 2. But it displeased Jonah exceedingly that he was, and he was angry. And he prayed to the Lord. He said, "Oh Lord, is not this what I said when I was yet in my country? This is why I made haste to flee to Tarshish. For I knew that you are a gracious God and merciful, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love, and relenting from disaster." Jonah knows his God. He is not afraid of anything in this world because he knows his God. And he knows his God so well that he can be petty with God. He can be naggy with God. He'll be like, I don't want to talk to you. He literally, he's like, I knew it. Come on. Why did you even make me do this? Like, I knew that you were going to forgive them. That's why I went the other way. Jonah didn't leave the other way because he was afraid of what the Ninevians going to do to him. Jonah perceived a failure in advance. Jonah was afraid of being a failure. With all of his understanding of God, with all of his faith and strength and brevity, the fear of failure is what got him to act the way that he did. Do you know those people who have a problem for every solution? Do you know those people? If you don't, you might be one of them. Are you one of those but people? Are you one of those but people? Like, hey, how about, but? Hey, what do you think we could, but? Are you one of those? Usually the but people are the Jonah guys. People who are afraid that they're going to be perceived as failure, that are not going to succeed at what they are doing, and from the very get-go, they see every opportunity not as an opportunity to grow, succeed, build, but as an opportunity to fail. Now, usually, you know how those people call themselves? Planners. Or, I'm just realistic. Have you heard that? I'm just realistic. Respect, fair enough. Nevertheless, how often the realistic people really act upon their desires, upon their dreams, upon their calling? Very often those quote-unquote realistic people are people who are simply afraid that this is not going to work out, that life is not going to work out, that this new job is not going to work out, this relationship is not going to work out. Do you know those people who everything is going well, and what crosses their mind? Okay, it's just a matter of time before something goes wrong. The worst possible scenario, people, happens to all of us every once in a while. But the matter of fact is that the fear of failure is what is very often keeping us from an opportunity to do, not just to do something, but to open the doors for God to do something mighty in our lives. Bottom line is, what if you fail? I want you to think about this statement. God doesn't call the successful. He makes the called successful. I want you to think about this. Because what God is calling you to live a full-blown life. He created you so you can love and live and give and be there, like full-blown all the way. Your desires, your dreams, your hopes, your prayers, all of these things are God calling you to do something new with your life, something more with your life. You don't have to be successful. Maybe you were not successful before. Maybe you were average. Maybe you were below. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter. When there is a calling in your life, and all of you know it, when you sit down with yourself, deep inside all of you know it. God says, I'm going to make it work. It's not up to you to make it work. It's up to me to make it work. Philippians chapter 1, verse 6. And I am sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of the Christ Jesus. Over here, Paul is talking about the process of spiritual growth. He looks at you and he sees, and you look at yourself and you know, I'm not perfect. I'm not good enough. I'm not even close. I thank you, Lord, for your grace upon me. Otherwise, I stand no chance. And then God says, I see you, but here's the thing. I started this. You're not the one who started this. I started this. Wherever you are right now in life, I really want to make sure that tomorrow you're better, that you're more powerful, that you create more, that you achieve more, that you become more within and without. And this is a promise over here. He who began the good work in you, it's his job to finish it off. You are never a failure. You have never been a failure. You have just been learning. And God wants you to understand. It's not up to you to succeed. It's up to you to trust that He will make sure it happens. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. This is so amazing. And he said to me, Paul talks to God, and he asks God to take away the burdens from his life, to take away things that he considers something that is weighing him down and preventing him from doing ministry. And then God tells him, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, For my power is made perfect in what? In weakness, my friends. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly for my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Are you weak? No, that was not. No, that was. I'm just like getting excited. But I appreciate the participation moment. Are you weak in anything in your life? Do you feel weak? In whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about. You know when you look in the mirror and you're like, I so suck at this. I can't do this. Perfect. You're in a perfect spot. Because this is the place where God's power can be shown the most. Exactly where the weakest you are is where His opportunity to shine is the biggest. Trust in that. Trust Him and then go for it. Go for it and see what happens. Failure is not an option. Second fear that I would like us to talk about, fear of rejection. Now, this is a rough one. We made so many bad choices because of fear of rejection. Sometimes we made a lot of good choices because of fear of rejection. Nevertheless, it's a fear still. People will avoid so many things because they think that others are looking at them differently. People are not going to do so many things because they feel that they might get laughed at, that they may get embarrassed in front of people. And it's very easy to test it out. Very simple. So right now I'm looking at all of you. All of you look very decent and churchy. Okay, most of you. I'm not going to point fingers. Now, how would you feel if I told you, okay, do this. Mess up your hair completely. Mess up your hair and spend the rest of your day with your hair like that. How would you feel? How would you feel? Mess up your beard. Mess up your beard. Lucky. Yep. Yeah. I have to be all-inclusive. You're a good point. But how would you feel through the rest of your day? You know, going to have lunch with friends, going to, to a party, to a park, to show wherever, constantly to be on your mind, right? Jeez. Oh, why? This is a very, very simple fear of rejection. What are people going to say? What are they going to think about me? How are they going to feel about it? Now, we have a very interesting story in the Bible in 1 Samuel in chapter 10. So 1 Samuel chapter 10, what's happening? Samuel is about to announce who the first king of Israel is ever going to be. And they were casting lots to determine that. They allow God to point out, and then they cast lots, and the tribe comes in, and the family comes in, and the clan comes in. And then the lot falls on Saul. And everybody is like, yo, Saul the king, where? Saul? Hello, where is Saul? So they inquired again to the Lord, is there a man still to come? Because Saul was he was gone. He was there, like everybody knew he was there, but suddenly he's gone. And the Lord said, behold, he has hidden himself among the baggage. Then they ran and took him from there, and look at this. And when he stood among the people, he was taller than any of the people from his shoulders upward. Imagine a grown man hiding with the carry-ons. Where is Saul? He was like, if he was taller than everybody, like, imagine how hard it was for him to hide among the baggage. But he managed. What's up with Saul? Saul did not see himself at all to be the king. He did not feel that he would be the one. And even after this, you read the story, he keeps acting as if he is not the king. And people even despise him because of that, because he's not acting like a king. Look at him. Look at how he's acting. And then at one point, God has to come in, and the Spirit of the Lord literally had to come upon him to drag him out of this state of mind, because Saul didn't feel that he will be accepted. And then, through the rest of his biography, which is long and exhaustive and very interesting, and I challenge you to read it sometime, Saul tries to appease the social setting around him. Everything that he did was done for making somebody happy, for making sure that he has a good score on the king's scoreboard, for making sure that the points are coming in, for making sure that everybody likes him, to the point of the last and final mistake that he made for the same thing. So they're ready for the war. And Samuel is supposed to come and make a sacrifice. And Samuel is gone. And Saul is like, come on, Samuel, where are you? What's going on? And he looks at the people, and people are like, dude, are we doing this or not? What's going on? You know what? I'm going home. And people start dispersing. Now, Saul, again, in his fear of rejection from people, does the worst possible thing. He's like, screw this. We don't need Samuel. I'm going to do this. When he did that, he broke one of the most common covenantal principles in the Bible. He was not supposed to be the one to make the sacrifice. So God looks at him, and he's like, you don't care about me at all. All you care about is what other people are going to think about you. We're done. You're fired. And that's exactly what happened. How many of us do things, act in a certain way, speak in a certain way to be accepted? How many times you catch yourself doing something, and then on the drive home, like, oh, please, just so nobody knows about this. And then tomorrow morning you check your social media to make sure that nobody tagged you in what you did. And you see a hashtag, hold my beer. And then you're like, oh no. Ever been there? Blessed are you if you haven't. Your identity, listen to this, I want you to remember this. Your identity comes from God's acceptance, not people's approval. Jesus was clear. If you love me, the world is going to hate you. It was much harsher back then. But even now, try acting like Jesus. You know what's going to happen to you? What happened to Martin Luther King? What happened to Gandhi? What happened to all of these guys who just showed up and say, hey, let's just get along. Let's just love each other. Okay, this guy needs to die. But our identity, and next week, the whole sermon is going to be about false identities that hold us back. So I'm not going to dwell too much on this. But I really want you to think and understand of this. You are who you are because of how God sees you, not how people around see you. And if you want to be seen by God in the proper light, be aware that a bad light is going to be shed on you by the people around you. Even Jesus couldn't make everybody happy. You remember that? Some said he's a prophet from God. The other one says he's a cheater. He's just deceiving people. Romans chapter 8, verse 31. What then shall we say to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? How does that sound? How does that sound? When you go to a place that you know that you will be challenged to do things that you consider wrong. Nah, I'm not doing that. You might be laughed at. You might be ridiculed. You might be even asked to leave. But if God is for you, you are never alone. You are never on your own. And there is a tribe that you belong to. Anytime you do something in fear of rejection, remember, you are in the wrong tribe. Anytime you have to trample your own convictions and beliefs in order to be accepted by the crowd that you're part of, you're in the wrong tribe. Psalm 118, verse 6. The Lord is on my side. I will not fear. What can man do to me? That is a very bold statement, but very true. That is a statement that completely annihilates the fear of rejection. Because you realize it doesn't matter what people around me think. It really doesn't matter. Because you know what? They're all going to die anyways. In my life, I've spent quite a bit of time in hospitals with people who were sick, with people who had terminal illnesses. And I got to tell you one thing. If you want an honest answer to any question, go talk to a person that is going to die soon. Maybe they have 3 months, maybe they have 6 months, but go ask them for an opinion. Or you're going to get it. You're going to get what's on their mind. Because they don't care anymore. And literally, I remember one guy, he's like, I don't care anymore what my family thinks. And he was just honest about what was on his mind. Where we fail is we forget that all of us are terminal patients. We just act as if the terminal date is really far out. Any of us can die tomorrow, today. You really live only right now. Are you going to fake it so people would love you? Or you want to be your authentic self, who you really are, and let the ones who don't like you reject you. Let them leave your life. Be who you are. Be who God intended you to be, and allow that authenticity to bring to you the people who actually appreciate who you really are. John 15:16. This is awesome. You did not choose me, but I chose you, and I appointed you, that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should abide, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, He may give it to you. When you are authentic, God responds. He is not going to respond to fake you. He is not going to respond to pretender you. God responds when you are who you are, no matter how that looks like to you. He doesn't care. You shouldn't care. Be your best self every single day. Put an effort to be like Jesus in every single thing that you do, say, or think. But remember, for that the price is rejection. Unavoidable rejection from the people around you. It's going to happen no matter what. Might be the people you hold really dear to your heart. Might be the people that you really want to be a part of with their group. If you are not who you are, you will always look in the mirror and rebuild the mask again and again and again, and always be miserable about it. Okay, I got to speed up. It's already noon. I talk too much. Okay, this one, fear number 3 that I want to talk about, fear of change or fear of the unknown. Now, we addressed this last week. I'm not going to focus too much on this one. I just wanted to bring it up. The last week's sermon was pretty much about this. But essentially, we cling, in our fear of change or unknown, we cling to these familiar routines that we are stuck on. That we, even though that they are not good for us, we still do them because it's easier to just follow the autopilot and do things that way. Because then we are safe, we think that we are in control. Now, in Numbers in chapter 14, there is a really interesting description of it. They are getting ready to enter the promised land, and the spies give this whole speech of how bad the land is. Joshua, as I mentioned in the beginning, is the only one who actually gives the whole presentation, and now true presentation, and now people are looking at what they're against, and then all the congregation raised a loud cry, and the people wept that night. And all the people of Israel grumbled against Moses and Aaron, and the whole congregation said to them, "Would that we had died in the land of Egypt. We had such a good times in the land of Egypt. My goodness, we were living it up over there. You guys remember how awesome it was? Jeez. Every single day, we were playing with mud, having fun with these straws, and then we would go home and sleep and then do it again the next day. We had so much fun being slaves in Egypt. Oh, if we only had died over there." Are you the one, let me coin a word, romanticizer? You know what romanticizing is? Good old days, for example. Or it's so much better over there than over here. Or I wish. I wish if I could. And then whatever I did before. Fear of change and fear of unknown is maybe not the worst one, but definitely a tremendously difficult one to deal with. Because we feel that we are safe in our little circle that we created, and everything outside of it is going to hurt. Instead of seeing everything outside of it as an opportunity to grow. The people of Israel were just like that. They look at their familiar and they're like, "Oh, I wish we were there." And so many of us get stuck in that. So many of us get stuck in a dysfunctional, abusive relationship because it's familiar. So many of us get stuck in a dead-end job because it's familiar. So many of us get stuck in a routine that is detrimental to us, but it's just so easy to kind of go with it. And we lose our health, we lose our heart, eventually we lose ourselves with that. I want you to think about this. Where God guides, God provides. This is something to remember. Isaiah chapter 43. "But now thus says the Lord, He who created you, O Jacob, and who formed you, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. And when you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame shall not consume you." Now this is a promise on steroids. And this is a promise given not just to the people of God of the old days. This is a promise given to you. But you know what you need to do? You need to step in the water. You need to step in that river. You need to step in that flame that you've been avoiding for such a long time. Psalm 37, verse 23. "The steps of a man are established by the Lord when he delights in his way." Now, this is also a big promise. Very often we stick in familiar because we feel that we have control, an illusion of control. But God says, "Let me have control." Like, yeah, you're great, you're doing great, that's awesome. But let me have control. "The steps of a man are established by the Lord." Guys, when you delight in His way, Go make those steps that you're afraid of. Try new things. Explore new options. Have a difficult talk. Move on from clinging or whatever it is. But allow God to establish the steps that are ahead of you with you knowing that you have no control over what's coming. And good things will come. And the last fear that I want us to talk about today is the fear of not being enough. We don't want to admit to this fear. This is one of the most obscured ones because we never really want to say that this is true. Usually we admit to this fear when we are in despair, when we are crying, when we are in pain. You look in the mirror and you're like, I just can't. I just can't because I am not enough. You guys remember Gideon, right? He was one of the mighty judges. Now, this is the cool thing about it. God comes and tells him, dude, I got a job for you. I need you to lead my people. And this is his response. Judges chapter 16, verses 15. Judges chapter 6, verse 15. And Gideon said to the Lord, please, Lord, how can I save Israel? Behold, my clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. Gideon looks in the mirror and he sees this weakling. He sees this skinny kid who can't even get up. And God is now giving him a job to do. And he's like, I'm not cut for this. I'm no good for something like this. This is way out of my league. I am not qualified. I just don't have the experience. I just don't have the knowledge. I don't think we are the good fit. Have you ever been saying these things to yourself as you were about to do something new in life and convinced yourself that you are right and you didn't do it? We do this to ourselves all the time because we just don't feel that we can. Now, this is what I want you to think about. God equips those who He calls. You already have everything you need in Him. You might be doubting yourself because you look in the mirror and you see yourself. You need to look in the mirror and see God standing behind you, with His hands on your shoulders, telling you, you got this. God equips those who He calls. Whatever God is calling you to do, He already has a plan how you're going to achieve that. But that is something that you discover as you go through these things. You learn new things. You learn new skills. You acquire new knowledge as you tug along. That's when it happens. That's how God equips. One step at a time. You want to know something? So, verse 6 that we just read. So he says, behold, my clan is the weakest, and I'm the least in my father's house. Do you know how God addressed Gideon the first time when he kind of got his attention? Look at this. Just a couple of verses behind. Chapter 6, verse 12. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, the Lord is with you, O mighty man of valor. Would you like for God to call you, O mighty man, O mighty woman of valor? Geez, what would I give to get that title from the Lord? And apparently Gideon was already there. God looks at him, He already sees him like that. He sees him as a mighty man of valor, like you can do it, like I know you. I know what you can do. I know what I can do with you. And Gideon is like, I'm so weak. I can't do this. And God is like, what's wrong with you, dude? Yeah, you can. Ephesians chapter 3. verses 20 and 21. Now to him who is able to do far more abundantly than all that we ask or even think, according to the power at work within us, to him be the glory. Literally what Paul says over here. He can do things in your life beyond your wildest imagination. I'll give you 10 seconds. Visualize in your mind right now. Wake up. First, I see some yawning. I see some playing with your phones. Focus. We're almost there. Almost there. A few more minutes. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Visual. And you already did it so many times. It's going to be really easy. Visual your best self. Visualize your dream self. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 seconds. Did you do it? Did you visualize your dream self? Now God looks at that and he says, like, that's it? That is what Paul says over here. Your best dream self. God looks at that and he says, like, that's it? That's best you can do? Beyond what you can even dream of, God can do it for you in your life. And he wants you to be there. Because then his power will be the most obvious. Because you look at yourself and people look at you and they see you the way you look at yourself. And then God achieves something that is beyond your wildest imagination. Guess what you'll be doing? Guess who you will be praising? Guess who you will be giving glory to? Let me give you the homework. So, take a snapshot, or write it down, or memorize it. If you can memorize this, you don't need a homework. I want you to name the homework for this week. Last week we had a homework as well. I hope you did it. We should have probably at the beginning of the service actually went through it, but we're going to do that next time. I should have thought of that. So, for this week, name the fear that you've been avoiding, that you have hard times dealing with, that is pressing you out to these 4. Name it. But when I say name it, I mean literally expose it. Take a piece of paper and write it down in bold letters. Add it to your prayer. Admit it to God. Tell God, like, this is what I fear. This is exactly what I fear. And then make a list of all of the wrong decisions that you can think of that you made because of this fear. Make another list of all of the things that you're failing to achieve because of this fear. Then replace this fear with God's truth daily. Go back to these Bible verses. Go back to these empowering statements. And reread them out loud every single day in the face of your fear. I got to tell you one thing. Like, as I was preparing this and going through this, like, I already made my own list. I have my own set of, literally, like, every single of these fears. Like, there is something that I need to address in my life. And I'm planning to do that as well. Now, every day, take one small step of obedience, which means do exactly what you are afraid of. Exactly what your fear is holding you back. Do something just a little bit. You don't have to go all the way through, but do something a little bit that is going to make you uncomfortable with this fear. Share this with the right people. Make sure that you are in the right tribe this week. Make sure that you surround yourself with faith-building people. People who will look at your fear and see an opportunity. People who will look at you and say, no, you're not afraid. You can do this. Don't surround yourself with enablers, with people who are going to tell you, no, you shouldn't. Make sure that you're connected to the right energy around you, because the energy that we build around ourselves with other people is more powerful than you can even imagine. And then the last thing, but don't forget that. Every single little thing that you do in conquering your fear, celebrate it. Post it on social media if that's your thing. Buy yourself an ice cream, unless you're diabetic. But reward yourself. Celebrate the progress, not the perfection. There will never be a perfection. We always have this idea, when I get there. No, you'll never get there. None of us will ever get there. That's the whole point of life. Every single top of the hill is an opportunity to reach to the next hill. Celebrate progress, not perfection. And let's recap real quick. If you fear that you're going to fail, remember, God is going to finish what He started with you. If you feel that people are going to reject you, remember, God chose you first. It doesn't matter what people say. If you're afraid because you don't know what you're walking into, don't worry, God is already there. And if you feel that you can't, you are right, but God can. Dear Lord, so many things to learn today. Please bless us not to leave this place without committing ourselves to really doing this. May this not be a waste of time in anybody's life. Shake us up, move us, give us a reason to fight our fears so we can get closer to you, we can give you glory with everything we do. Amen.